of a sudden you guys have put 2 wins together. Great way to start the league season. Things get a little bit tougher this week with Livingston in preparation for your final 3 games. Talk about the mood of the team right now, especially coming in 2 and 3 from non-league, and then all of a sudden, like I said, 2 wins in a row.
Yeah, it's definitely nice to get back on track and get a win streak going. The mood of the team's good. Kids are healthy. That's a good thing for us. I mean, like I said, on Friday we're probably the healthiest we've been in a long time right now. It's homecoming week, so they got a little bit behind them there. Got some extra motivation from outside sources, but it's good. The kids are feeling it right now, and they understand that our next 3 games and moving on into playoffs are not going to be the same type of weeks and games that we've had recent. But we played some tough opponents this week, this year that provided us with some experience for those tough games, and hopefully we've learned from those, and we're ready to move on going into this week.
All right. Like you said, it is homecoming week, especially for the upperclassmen. A lot of potential distractions. How do you keep these kids, focused on the task at hand throughout this week?
Everybody's different. Everybody's got a different thing. I think majority of the guys that are coaching football understand that homecoming week is good and bad. It's a great thing for high school tradition and spirit and that type of thing. But man, it really takes away from the focus of the kids. It's schoolwork and football seem to take a back seat sometimes to their focus of practicing for lip syncs and getting ready for different events that they have going on for homecoming. So it's a battle. It's always a battle. But it's one of those times, like you said, the good part of it is that's what you're supposed to do during high school, and you're supposed to go through the homecoming stuff. So you don't want to be the guy that outlaws all the stuff they can and can't do. They got to enjoy it. They're kids. You just really got to work hard on keeping their focus on Friday. And all the events that happen during the week don't mean anything if you don't get the win on Friday. So that's the only thing people are going to remember. So that's the task at hand, is keeping these guys focused, and it's a tough one at times, but sometimes if you prepare them enough early on in the season, it'll take care of itself during the week.
Last week, one of the neat things was, the game was pretty much in hand after the first half. You were able to get a lot of the players in, don't get a lot of playing time, and throughout the second half. From a coaching standpoint, how cool is that for you to be able to see everyone get action on the field?
Yeah, that's big. Guys work. We don't have the first team doesn't get every rep in practice. They don't go through, and they're not the only ones that are doing individual drills and pursuit drills, and when we're making our adjustments, we're not only talking to those guys. So the reserves have to pay attention. They may not get a lot of reps during practice or any. But through the individual time and some of the different periods that we do during the week, that's their chance to better themselves and develop as football players within our system. And to be able to see guys excel without getting a whole lot of reps during the week and do it on a Friday based upon individual type drills and different things like that is good. And you get to see everybody get in. Everybody's getting the playing time. I mean, we had a lot of guys carry the ball, and we have a lot of guys that can do that. So when you have those type of guys, it's going to be hard to get anybody, especially the reserves, to get multiple carries, and a good load of carries. For some of the smaller programs, smaller schools, may not have as much. You take like a Gustine, if they go to their number 2s and 3s, they're still getting quite a few reps, as opposed to when we go to our 2s and 3s, we have a lot of 2s and 3s, and but it's always fun to see those guys get in. That some of those guys did really good things. There's some really good things that came about from those guys, and then other things that are big time teachable moments where we got to get those guys ready to go and fixed up.
Yeah, you have Livingston this week coming into town. They're 1-1 in league. They just came off a win against Orston, but what do you know about this week's opponent? Their style of play, and how do you think you're going to prepare for that?
Well, what we've been able to match up with Livingston for a while now in the past, and so we have history there with some familiarity with their offense and their defense, that type of thing. It's evolved around a little bit, but they've traditionally they run a fly offense. They want to use speed and motion and misdirection and that type of thing to get to the edge and try to get you to fly outside so they can run underneath you. And so what we've seen from them this year, though, is actually an improvement in definitely in the player standpoint. I mean, they've got Charles Brown is a big hard runner, one that we haven't seen from Livingston in a while. An athletic quarterback. They've got some capable linemen. I mean, they're much improved than what we've seen before, and our record shows that as well. I mean, they're coming in. They're not, their win-loss is the other end of the spectrum. They're playing well right now. They're doing good things, and so we have to be prepared on both sides of the ball and in the kicking game for a good, solid game, and that's how we'll go about it. But they're playing improved football, and it's good to see that.
Lastly, one of the things that continues to come up when I talk to kids in the post-game interviews, and we touched on it briefly too after the game, is this continued inspiration that's coming from what the kids are reading in publications or seeing on video. How is this helping the team? To go ahead and move forward and say, listen, we're going to defy the odds. If people are going to pick against us, we're going to go out and prove them wrong.
Right, and that's exactly what it's done. Is and it was funny because I had told the team way back in the beginning of the season, you're not going to get a lot of people once our senior class graduated from last year. They basically had written us off, and I told them that you're not going to get much respect. You're going to have to fight for everything you got, and we put a horse up in our locker room. We painted it all black, and we were going to be, consider ourselves the dark horse. Nothing really was going to matter to us, as long as within our walls of our locker room and within our structure of our team and our program that we believed that we could, succeed. And so, it's any outside sources that we catch wind of that are knocking us for whatever reason or showing us a little bit of disrespect, that's only adding more fuel to our fire. And we, it's like I talked about on Friday. You talk about, don't tell me, show me. The kids have really taken on that attitude in the last couple of weeks about, talk is talk, but we're gonna go out there and we're gonna get it done. And then people are gonna base, their impressions and perceptions about us based upon what they see us do, not about what we tell them we can do. So it's added to us, it's added to our motivation, and then that's fine. We'll take it, and we'll take it in stride and just keep using it. So that's what we're going to do this week.